So I have another video today of more rules or stuff that happened. Bear with me because I've tried to block a lot of this out for a lot of reasons. It was not the greatest experience for me, but I've had a lot of people who also went to the same college relay back to me a lot of the information. So I'm very slowly remembering things, but I have a couple more today. One of them is about church conference. At these church conferences, whether it was the big conference or missions conference or whatever it was, you were required to be at every single service that was there and happening. If you were not working, you were required to be at these different meetings during the conference. They required you to take notes, and then you would turn in your notebook at the end of the day or at the end of the week, and they would do a notebook check. They didn't care if it was one note or if you had an entire page of notes. They just wanted you to take any kind of notes during said conference and meetings, and if you did not take any notes, then they would fine you. I actually still have my notebook during that time, and I can tell you that majority of my notes were actually doodles. Another thing that was something that we had to do, this was every single Saturday. It kind of goes hand in hand with what I talked about when it came to the buses and the soul winning. The females had to be out there for at least 3 hours. Longer if you had the time. If you didn't, then you would have to have at least the 3 hours. And like I said, for me, my bus route from the sending area was 45 minutes out. So majority of my time soul winning was 45 minutes driving out there, doing the accountability reports that we were required to fill out on that Sunday. And I can try to show you what it looked like. You had to fill out your name and a lot of other things, and then you had to give an accountability report of who it is that you went soul winning or bus visiting with, and then you would also give how many hours you were out, and if you led anybody to the Lord, you would have to fill out this whole thing of basically just what it was for you. And it didn't really matter what kind of weather conditions that it was during this time of your soul winning, because they wanted you to go out anyway. I remember it was in the negatives one day and we were still required to go out, and it didn't really matter. Very rarely did it happen that the girls were told, hey, you guys don't have to go out today because the weather conditions are too bad. But even if the weather conditions were too bad for the girls, the guys were still required to go out. What do you mean? A lot of the areas that we were sent out to were pretty unsafe, to the point where a lot of the people and a lot of the young girls were completely worried for their safety on multiple occasions. And not only were they completely just sent up by themselves, the girls would be over on this side, and then the guys would be a 10 to 15 minute time separated distance from the girls. So not only are you in an unsafe area, but now you are completely 10 to 15 minutes separated from anyone who could possibly help you if you were in an unsafe situation. So there was a lot of fear of whether or not they were, for the girls, whether or not they were going to be kidnapped or worse. I'm not even kidding. They were not safe areas. Also during this, if at any time you were told, hey, we have a promotion or something on the bus, you were then told that, well, this is for the Lord, and you as the bus worker are required to go help buy whatever it is that the promotion is for the bus. So let's say it's a candy bar sundae. You as the worker on the bus, as a college student who is struggling financially and you literally have nothing to your name, you are required to go out and help buy these candy bars for the promotion on the bus, and it's for the Lord. So you better be happy and grateful about it. In the church settings that we grew up in, there's this thing called tithing. I feel like that's not a big secret. You are required as the college student to be tithing to either your church or the church that was connected to the college. And if you didn't, if they caught any kind of a suspicion that you weren't, they would then go into the church logs of your church or their church, whatever it is, and they would check and see if you were actually paying tithe. And they threatened that multiple times. And if you didn't, I can't remember what the extent of punishment was for that. I want to say that you would get fined or suspended, something like that. I don't remember. But you were required to type. When it came to those accountability reports, if for whatever reason you forgot to turn it in or you didn't turn it in, publicly shamed in front of the entire class to, hey, go get a sheet of paper from the front that says you've now filled it out. You have to go fill it out, and then you have to go get a sheet of paper from the front desk saying that you have filled it out, go do it. And that was done in front of everybody and their mother. I think that's everything that I've got for today and this video. If you have any more questions, just go ahead and ask them. It is highly appreciated, and I hope you all have a good rest of your day.